Hey guys, welcome back to Carib 21, wherever in the Caribbean or in the diaspora you're watching from. So today I want to do a follow-up video on a video that I did yesterday. So yesterday I did a video about a Donald Trump ban list, a list that came out from the New York Times listing 43 countries that Donald Trump could potentially ban those citizens from entering the US. And on that list there was 6 Caribbean islands. And I did a video yesterday listing the 6 Caribbean islands. So today, the follow-up video that I want to do today is talking about the reaction from some of the prime ministers from a few of the Caribbean islands that are on that list. I also want to correct some information from that video that I put out yesterday. And what I want to do also is to give more information on why I believe that this travel ban has nothing to do with the Cuban medical program. This travel ban is all about the Caribbean, the Citizen by Investment program that the Caribbean islands have to offer. So that is what I want to talk about today. I want to take my time and break this down so that I can bring more clarity and clear up some confusion that was on the video that I released yesterday. So let's talk about it. Okay, so first, let's address those that think that this is fake news. There are quite a few people that don't believe that this is real and that if anything from the New York Times, it's pretty much fake news and they're trying to attack Donald Trump. So this is coming from Caribbean Media Corporation, CMC, and this states that several Caribbean governments have reportedly reached out to the United States for information after their inclusion on the potential travel ban list, according to reports from CMC Media. And CMC Media is stating that the latest government to reach out to the American administration is the government from St. Lucia. So St. Lucia government is the latest government that reached out to the United States of America via the ambassador from St. Lucia, and they are seeking more clarity on this list. So for those who believe that this is fake news, no, this is being reported by CMC. It is also reported by the Jamaica Gleaner, the Jamaica Observer, and all over Caribbean media. It is reported, so this is not fake news. So for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be talking about the islands that have been listed on the yellow list. So the islands that have been listed on the yellow list is St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Antigua Barbuda. And when having a conversation online, there are a lot of people stating that, look, this is a retaliation from the Trump administration because of what has been going on over the past couple of weeks with the Cuban medical program. And I would say that could not be the case. And the reason why that could not be the case is because the islands in the Caribbean that have benefited the most from the Cuban medical program and that still have Cuban doctors in their system, they are not on this list. So when we talk about those islands, we're talking about like Jamaica. So the Foreign Affairs Minister, Kamina Johnson-Smith, came out with a statement last week stating that there are over 400 medical practitioners from that program, the Cuban medical program that's still operating in Jamaica. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines came out last week also and said that the dialysis program in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is completely run by Cuban doctors. And we know the history with Trinidad and Tobago and with Guyana in terms of their relationship with Cuba and the Cuban medical program. And none of those islands are on this list. So that is telling me that, look, this could not be the reason for this travel ban because there's no indication that there are even any Cuban doctors or nurses in any of these islands. In St. Kitts, in Antigua Barbuda, there's no indication. No one came out to say that, look, they have doctors or nurses in these islands that are currently working as a part of this program. So that is telling me that, look, this could not be that reason, because if that was the reason, Jamaica would be first on the list, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Guyana would be on the list, and Trinidad and Tobago would be on this list. And secondly, this could not be because of anything to do with an increase of crime and violence or anything like that in the Caribbean. Because as I stated again, if this was because of crime and violence in the Caribbean, then the countries that would be on the list with the highest crime rate, Guyana would be on that list, Jamaica would be on that list, St. Vincent and the Grenadines would be on that list, Trinidad and Tobago would be on that list. So that is telling me that, look, this is not the reason for this potential ban for these countries. And that is why it brought me to the Citizen by Investment Program. And I'm going to break it down to you why this is the reason for this potential ban. Because these 4 islands, what they have in common is that program. The only Caribbean island that is missing from this list that is a part of the Citizen by Investment Program is Grenada. So I'm going to break it down and let you know why I believe that this is the reason for this potential ban. Here at Carib 21, I'm on a mission to showcase the vibrant culture and the breathtaking beauty of the Caribbean while showcasing our culture and what is trending. If you want to support me on this mission, please subscribe. And if you also want to support, you can hit the comment section and buy me a cup of coffee. In order to buy me a cup of coffee, you can follow these instructions. Just click more. You will see the link to buy me a cup of coffee. Click the link. You can purchase 1 or 2 cups of coffee and you'll be helping me to fulfill this mission. Thank you. Before I break it down, I just wanted to make a correction. Yesterday, in the video that I did yesterday, I stated that citizens from the islands that are part of this Citizen by Investment Program, that citizens from those islands don't need a U.S. visa in order to enter the United States of America. And that was incorrect. Citizens from those islands, they do need a visa to enter the United States of America. The only thing is that it is much easier if you're from St. Kitts and Nevis, if you're from St. Lucia, it is much easier to acquire a U.S. visa than certain countries. Like, for example, Nigeria. I'm going to use Nigeria for this story because one of the person that I stated in the video that I did yesterday was from Nigeria, and Nigeria has one of the weakest passports in the world. And as a Jamaican myself, that I've been traveling for 20 years. And if you ask any Jamaican, like, traveling across the world is very difficult for Jamaicans because you have to get visa to go a lot of places. And even the places that you don't need visa to get to, you need a transit visa. And I know this from personal experience because even though I've never been denied a visa, it's because I spent a lot of time out of Jamaica. And when I was living in Bermuda, Bermuda is one of those islands that have a very strong passport also, even though they don't have a Citizen by Investment Program. But when I was a resident of Bermuda, whenever I go to apply for a U.S. visa, it would be like an easy process compared to applying for a U.S. visa in Jamaica. If you ask Jamaicans that apply for a U.S. visa in Jamaica, you get turned down like so many times. Like if you go 10 times, you might get through the last time. But the amount of times you'll get turned down and you have to go for an in-person interview. But with my experience being in Bermuda, when you apply for a U.S. visa in certain places, you don't have to go for an interview. You just fill out the application, you send it off, and your visa comes back. It's waiting for you. So it is a much easier process if you are from, say, like Nigeria, and you acquire like a passport from St. Kitts and Nevis. Very easy to get into the States, and that passport will give you access to way more countries in the world than you'd get with a Nigerian passport. So just wanted to clear that up. Okay, so when this story broke, it just did not make sense to me because a potential travel ban for islands in the Caribbean, these 4 Caribbean islands would be probably the last islands that you would expect to be on any travel ban coming from the Caribbean. Because as I said, like, these are smaller islands. These are islands with lower crime rate in comparison to like a Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, even St. Vincent and the Grenadines. and Guyana. We put Guyana in there, even though people are going to come at me and say Guyana is not an island, but they are part of the West Indies. So when you think about a travel restriction coming from this region, you're not going to think about Saint Kitts and Nevis. You're not going to think about Antigua, Barbuda. Those islands would be the last islands that you would even consider when you hear about a Trump travel ban. So this just didn't make sense. But as soon as this article, like I saw it and I'm like, okay, this could not be that. It immediately dawned on me that this must be the Citizen by Investment Program. And when I sat down and I'm like, yes, these four islands that are on this list, they all have that in common. And that is where the light bulb went off. And I'm like, this is the reason for this ban, the Citizen by Investment Program. And there are people that are saying that, no, this is not. People that are still saying that, no, this is not the reason for it. This is not the reason. But let me go to an article again. So this, as I said, it's all over the internet. So 3 reasons listed here for the countries that are in the category, the yellow category. And okay, so first it says failing to share information about incoming travelers to the US. So that is one of the information given, that the countries that are listed on this yellow list, they fail to give accurate information on travelers coming into the US. And the second one was inadequate security practice for issuing passport. That is number 2. Number 3, and here we go, selling citizenship to people from banned countries, which could serve as a loophole around the restrictions. So that is it. So for anyone that had any doubt, it's clearly listed right here now, the 3 reasons given for this. And it stated that there's a 60-day, pretty much the White House is giving, I'm going to be talking about just the Caribbean islands. I'm not talking about the 22 countries on the list, but the 4 Caribbean islands on the list, that they have 60 days to kind of get their house in order for them not to move from the yellow list to go to the orange list. And they could even go to the red list, which I don't see happening. Yes, so for anyone that had any doubt that this was because of that program, then this should tell you that 100% it is because of the Citizen by Investment Program. And one of the things why it makes it so clear, because let me give you an example. The same guy, if you watched the video yesterday, the Nigerian YouTuber that from Nigeria, and he acquired a passport from St. Kitts and Nevis. The thing with that is that when you're entering the USA, when you get like a US visa, when you are going to the UK and you show your passport, and he stated in that video, I think I'm going to leave the video in this video also, of his process of getting through with that citizenship by investment program for St. Kitts and Nevis. And what he stated is that it's night and day is his journey traveling with a Nigerian passport as opposed to traveling with a passport from St. Kitts and Nevis. And he stated that, look, when he was going through with his passport from St. Kitts and Nevis, it took seconds. But traveling with a Nigerian passport, it took like hours. Like sometime he got searched. They questioned him about drugs and all of this type of stuff. So it's obvious that it's the Citizen by Investment Program. And as I said, I can use myself as an example again. Being a Jamaican, and we know that there's a big stereotype with Jamaicans when it comes on to, in particular, like certain type of drugs and certain type of lifestyles. So a lot of Jamaicans, when we're traveling, we get stereotyped, and in the airport, a lot of Jamaicans will tell you that they'll get pulled to the side just because, being picked out and stereotyped. And being a Jamaican now, living in Canada, Jamaica is one of the islands with, like, as I said, like pretty much a bad stereotype. that follow us as Jamaicans. And if you ask any Jamaican that live in Canada, the difference, because Canada is seen as one of the most polite, some of the most polite people, some of the nicest people in the world. So when you are a Jamaican with a Jamaican passport, that when you travel, especially traveling to America, like the immigration officer, like they grill you when you're going into America, like what's your purpose for being here? Who are you staying with? This and that. And they give you this like aggressive posture as a Jamaican. When you as a Jamaican now switch use your Canadian passport and you hand over the same passport, the Canadian passport, to these same US immigration officials, like they don't smile, but you're getting a better treatment. They're not grilling you. They're not asking you a bunch of questions. You just go through like smooth operator. So the passport really makes a big difference. And so that is the reason why, as I said, the Citizen by Investment program that Donald Trump is trying to clamp down on the Citizenship by Investment program. Because in Donald Trump the first administration, they had Nigeria. Nigeria was one of the African countries that was on Donald Trump's list of countries in Africa that was banned until Joe Biden overturned it. But what is interesting is that during that time, when Nigerians were banned from the USA, one of the thing that they're talking about is that for the same guy, the Nigerian YouTuber, he was able to, through the Citizen by Investment program, to acquire a passport from St. Kitts and Nevis. So that is what they're talking about. So here is a country, Nigeria, that's on Donald Trump's list of countries that is banned in Africa. But a Nigerian can go to St. Kitts and Nevis and acquire citizenship by investment, get his or her passport and can travel to the USA, with ease and not knowing that this person is from Nigeria. So I think that is where Donald Trump and his administration is looking at this. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know what do you think about this. I hope this video, I did a better job in this video clarifying what my belief is, that the Citizen by Investment program is what Donald Trump is targeting for these 4 Caribbean islands. Sound off in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.
In New York City, and for me to get here, I needed to get a passport. Let me explain. The police also stopped me because I was a Nigerian, and then they arrested me and they even hit me. Next thing he said was, we need to check your stomach for drugs. I was like, drugs?
The Trump administration is expanding its travel ban now. All immigrants from Nigeria will be banned.
I believe the Caribbean programs for citizenship by investment are the best option. And you can, of course, travel with these passports to over 120 countries visa-free, including the EU and the UK.
How much does that cost?
For St. Kitts and Nevis, the price changes depending on the investment option. Currently, it's around $150,000 for the donation option. However, this option will expire soon. So we encourage anyone who's looking into that option to apply in the current time.
150,000.
Is visa-free, including the EU and the UK.
How much does that cost?
For St. Kitts and Nevis, the price changes depending on the investment option. Currently, it's around $150,000 for the donation option. However, this option will expire soon. So we encourage anyone who's looking into that option to apply in the current time.
150,000.
Multiple ways to get a citizenship. Most people usually get a citizenship via marriage or living in a country for a very long time. Some people get it via investments. There are so many countries, mostly in the Caribbean, who need money to develop their country, maybe build hospitals, build schools. The Citizenship by Investment program is for people who have a lot of money. They invest in that country by paying that money to the government. That money is being used to develop those places, and because of that contribution, then they give you a citizenship. Then will also be Nigerian, but it will also be Caribbean too. St. Kitts is located somewhere in the Caribbean islands, just above South America, and it has a lot of other islands around it. I need to visit this country, my new country. I'm Caribbean now.